everybody, it's Connie with Connie's Crafty Corner. I hope everybody's having a great day. It has been since August the 28th since I've posted my last video. I think it's November the 11th or 12th. It's Wednesday. I probably won't get this up till tomorrow. But y'all, I didn't mean to be gone so long. I have just been going through some stuff. It's nothing bad. I just trying to get caught up on life. My life, for some reason, has just been so busy. And for the last year and a half, it's just been crazy. You know, when I started this filming, or this YouTube channel, it was to help me keep track of my progress and you know, try to find people out, you know, that loved what I love doing and making friendships and stuff like that. But which has been the best part of this. I've made some great friends through YouTube. But once my mom got sick and then she passed away, my life's just been extremely chaotic. So I've just been plugging along trying to keep up with everything. And I think I mentioned in my last video, my Crojo, my what is it? My creative part of me was just tired, basically. I just didn't have any real desire to be doing a whole lot of crafting. In fact, I sat on my iPad and played games mindlessly for hours every day. I mean, it just got bad, and I was trying to do some things around the house, you know. Like most of you know that have been with me for a while. We moved in this house it'll be, y'all, I've got this rubber thing on my finger. I'm going to take it off. I've got a bad cut on the end of my finger, and I've been trying to get it to heal. But anyway, you know, we moved in this house a year ago this past January. So we've been here almost 2 years. And, you know, we did a lot of renovations and things. And then my husband, you know, his back got worse and things just slowed down. Well, I've had like a fire, you know, built up trying to get things done before Christmas. So I kind of quit doing anything except that. But I did get a couple of projects in the house completed. Y'all, I've made a list because I've got so much to talk about, and I am so flighty with my ADHD, which has been kind of out of control lately. And I'm gonna mark off something because I mentioned it already. But we have 3 bathrooms. We got, I mentioned in my last video, we got the walls painted in all of them. Well, 2 of them, but I got the walls painted in the 3rd one. I got 2 sets of the cabinets painted. And so I've got cabinets left in we call it my husband's bathroom because he uses one and I use the other. I gotta get his painted and then get the laundry room painted, which I've got all the doors in there done, but I'm waiting until we get flooring put in. We've got to get some flooring put in to the laundry room and the bathrooms because it's in terrible shape. But anyway, I hope to get it done before Christmas, but I'm not gonna put that pressure on myself. Just finding the time to go pick out flooring. You know, I don't know. I just can't seem motivated to go do it. But let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the crafting that I've been up to. I'm going to keep looking over here because I've got several things I'm working on. And I know I'm going to forget something, but that's okay. Maybe it means I'll make another video. Okay. Okay, the first thing is, this is actually the first thing that got me back into crafting. It's and I may have showed you guys this pattern before, but I never did do it. But it's called the Meadowlark Shawl. Yeah, Meadowlark Shawl. And I actually made mine out of woolies. And it is in the colorway Blush Heather. And I think I used, this would be the 4th skein. So it actually took almost 3 1/4 skein of it. But this is it. I didn't put the tassels on, and I don't know why, because I love the tassels. I guess I just forgot. But this is the shawl. And you know, you guys, you know that I'm not a pink person with me wearing a pinkish red shirt today. But I love this. I absolutely love this. I just love it. I love everything about it. It was not an easy pattern because I kept getting lost in the pattern. She tells you how important it is to keep count of your stitches, and I don't know what was wrong with me, but I finally got it done, and I love it. So I may add the tassels onto it. Here's the top picture of the way it looks with the tassels. But this is the first project that got me excited about getting back into crafting. So I worked on that. You know, I'm throwing it over on my mess. And the next thing I started doing is I wanted to make the Granny Crop Cardigan by MJ's Off the Hook. But I did want to make mine a little longer. I've got a big bottom and a big belly, and I didn't want it poking out up under. So unless I wore it with a skirt or some really loose fit, and I got some of these pants that kind of just hang from the top of my hip down. My husband loves them. They're like palazzo pants or whatever. He loves those pants on me. He's always loved that style. And that's the only thing I would really feel comfortable, because, you know, when I wear jeans, I got the big belly and the big old, you know, behind sticking out. And I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I am getting better with that as I get older, which, by the way, since I've talked to you guys, I've had a birthday and I'm 59 years old. My birthday was September the 25th. You know, Rowan's was the 24th. And then Bodie just had, his birthday is actually the 13th, which I think is tomorrow. But we had his birthday party last week. And I'll tell you all about the birthday parties once I get the yarny stuff over with. But I made the size extra large because I don't know why. I don't know if it was, I really don't know why I chose that size. I guess it was the measurements, the way I wanted it to fit and all that. So it says make 101, you know, squares. So I did. I followed the, I'll tell you here in a minute, guys. I am so sorry about this. You can tell I'm out of practice. But then again, if you know me, you know this is the way all my videos are. But that was the schematic or layout for the extra large, which called for 101 3.5-inch squares. Well, and it said to use a size 4 crochet hook. So me being me, I made all my squares, and this is it. And let me see if I can find a ruler. Hold on just a second. Let's see. As I slide backwards in my chair, I know I've got something here. You guys, I'm sorry about this. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Mine came up. Well, y'all, this has got hair all over it. I hate to even show it to you. Let's see. Three inches exactly. I don't know if y'all can see that. But they come up to 3 inches. So I thought, okay. I said, me not being the math wizard and not wanting to sit down and try to figure all this out, I thought, well, I'll just improvise. So the bottom starts out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares. So I thought, okay, I'll just add an extra square. It probably will fit. And if it don't, I'll give it away. It's no big deal. So I got all the way up to finishing the whole thing as join as you go, which, by the way, I love. But I realized when I added the extra square, I didn't take into account the sleeves. So I had 6 on one side and 7 on the other, these extra blocks here. I think it was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6. It's supposed to be 6 and 6. I had 6 and 7. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to add another row doing the join as you go thing. I know I probably could have fudged it and figured it out, but I got so frustrated that what I did is I frogged every bit of the join as you go. So here, you know, I've got a bag full of 101 squares, 3 inches. So I'm going to play around and try to figure this out because I really love my color combinations. I did these colors. These are the colors of my squares, just in different combinations. And this is the color trim that I was going to use. I was just going to pair it with a neutral. And y'all, I was loving the way it looked. I used Swish DK weight, which I had a ton of. And look at all of them I went through. So I'm really excited about getting my stash dwindled down. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Y'all, I'm throwing stuff. Hold on. So this is a project I'm going to put away until probably after Christmas and just take my time and work on it. I just got to do the math, and it's sitting down just to do the math, and I just got to figure it out, which I'm sure I will, because I really want to finish this. I really like it. I just got to take my time, and I've got to make myself understand that I can't just, not measure, try to improvise as I go, because it ended up wasting like a week of joining, every night in the evening. So that's the second project I've been working on. Y'all, and I had to weave in 6 ends on each one of those little squares. Think about that for a second. There's 101. Okay, the next project that I told you guys, this was the first project I did, and I love this more than anything I think I've ever made. It is a ripple blanket, Afghan, and I absolutely love it. I've got a lot of those Premier bobbins, that's got the 3 shades on each one, and I was trying to think of a way to just use them up. I'm trying to do some stash busting without calling it stash busting, because I always fail at everything I put out there. But I just grabbed random ones and just started a pattern and just worked it. I didn't use the variegated of each one, but I can't remember how many different skeins of this, but I love this. I think this is the prettiest thing I think I've ever made. I was so excited. I went out of my comfort zone and tried just different things and didn't think about it. I just picked up colors and went, and once the pattern was established, I stuck with it. Now, to do this over again, I would weave in my ends as I go, and I would do 3 rows of each color instead of 2, because I had all my ends on one side, and I hated the way that worked up, y'all, let me fix my light. I think I can't see myself very well. I don't know if I'm just going blind or what, but I can't see myself very well in my phone, so I don't know what my lighting looks like, but I'm sure y'all be okay with it. Y'all have always been so kind to me about stuff like that. But I loved every second of this, and I'm going to make another one. Now, let me show you the pattern. I got it out of this book, which is probably my favorite crochet book I've ever owned. The 100 Colorful Ripple Stitches to Crochet. And I think it was Olivia. I know her name's Olivia. She's so precious. Fun with Fiber with Olivia, or Olivia Fun with Fiber. I can't remember her channel name, and I really don't know if she's still posting again. I've lost a lot of you guys in my feed, and I don't know what's going on. I mean, well, I probably do. I watch too many crime shows, y'all. And I know it's messed with my algorithm, whatever it's called, on Yahoo, YouTube. Y'all, don't get me started on Yahoo. My husband's made me play fantasy football this year, and it's just frustrating. But, I've been playing it since, I think, 2020, but not really. Jill's helped me. But I am #1 leader this season, but he gets excited. But I got the pattern out of this book, and I don't remember which one it is. I'm going to flip through real quick to see if I can see it. I love this book. Was it this one? No. Y'all, I can't remember. I will post it. I'm such a bad... Oh, I think it's this one. No. I don't know. Anyway, it was in this book. And I'll flip through and show you some of them. See that? I'm just going to show you a couple. Oh, that might be what I did. This is the one I did. Yes, this is it. Right there. And I follow the chart. Super, super simple pattern. Very easy to keep up with. I didn't frog. I didn't have to do anything. There's several different types of things in this book. I love this book. I'll link it on Amazon. There's one that uses some baubles. I have to really pay attention and kind of wrap myself around the colors, because sometimes that don't influence me whether I do a pattern or not. But I've done 2 patterns out of this book, which is saying a lot for me, because usually I don't even use my crochet books. But I love this one, and that's probably going to be the next big project I start after I do the sweater. No, that's a lie. I saw TL Yarn Craft. She showed a sweater that she made out of granny squares. They were solid granny squares out of DK weight yarn. I can't remember the pattern, but it's on her blog, and I will link that. I love that sweater. I love the way it uses a gusset under the arm. I love everything about it, and I have got tons of DK weight yarn, and I even found a little thing. I'll show it to you. This is something I got, oh, y'all, the avalanche just started from Lether Co. many years ago, several years ago. It was some type of Advent, I think, and it took her 6, and she had to go into a 7th skein, so I got plenty of that here. I just don't have a trim color, but I'm sure that I'll find something. I think it took her a lot of skeins to do the ribbing all around, which is what I'm not really excited about, but I'll have to link that because I think that's really my next big pattern that I'm going to do, because hers was beautiful. And I'm going to make sure and do the math, because she talked about the math on her blog, and surely that I can follow that, or I'll make my husband figure it out. I'm the creative one. He's the, you know, that kind of person one. But I've decided I'm going to use this. It's got a lot of different colors that I'm not really, you know, I'm not a big pink and purple. I don't usually wear those colors, but I've tried to start branching out and do better, because my husband, I may have told y'all this, he said, I was wearing a pink top one day. He said, oh, I just love the way you look in pink. So I'm trying to change my mindset of being, used to be a really red-headed little girl and only wore green and blue. So anyway, let me throw that back up on the pile. Okay, that's all the crochet, but I've got other craft things I'm going to show you that I've been working on. Y'all, don't let me lose my little squares here. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Let me take a sip of water, because I got so much to talk about. Y'all, I'm such a rambling mess anyway, and I hadn't done this in so long. I hope that I'm making sense to you guys. Okay. Try not to swallow loud, because I can always hear that when I do my videos, and I can't stand it. Okay, I talked about the Meadowlark shawl, the blanket, the cardigan. Okay, I showed you guys these punch needle kits that I got off the internet from a Facebook ad. I fell down the rabbit hole and ordered several. Well, I started this last week, and I'm almost finished with my second one, and I have fell in love with this because it's quick, it's easy, it makes me think outside my comfort zone, which I need to do more often. But let me get the picture of the before I show you the after. And y'all, let me tell you, this first one took me a long time, because honestly, I didn't even know what punch needle was. I watched a couple of videos. I was too particular and had to rip things out a million times, not realizing that the overall picture is what you're looking at, not each individual little punch. But I love snowmen, so I started with a snowman. It's this one. And I haven't soaked it or anything, I haven't done anything with it, but this is my finished project. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. A lot of times people have them displayed in the hoop, but I think I'm actually going to, you know, finish up by doing whatever you do with the back and put a cover over it, and just, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I love this, y'all. This is my new favorite thing to do. I love it. It is not perfect, and you guys that do punch needle can probably see the multitude of mistakes that I've made. Here's the back. I didn't know if I was supposed to punch those stars or not, so I just did them embroidery, and I embroidered the mouth too, because I tried to punch it and it looked awful. But y'all, I love this. I love, love, love this. In case y'all wanted to see what a punch needle was, which I'm sure most of y'all know what it is, but this is it. I've already got it threaded because I'm working on my second one. I'm going to show you that one here in just a second. The second one I started working on was this one, and I started this yesterday. In fact, I started last night watching a movie with my husband. And y'all, I am on, and I've not really worked that. I worked on it maybe 15 minutes today. But look, this is why I love this craft so much. Here it comes with little beads I got to put on the tree. And this is the garland that's going to go on the tree. But y'all, this is how much I've got done, y'all. I'm so excited. See, I got to put the little crosses on after, and then do the garland and the beading. And then I will be finished. They say to punch in a way it makes sense. And I did this one very differently. I did it very differently. This one, I'm just kind of doing little sections, trying to work in to get it all filled. But you can kind of see where the pattern's printed on there. But you guys, I love, love, love doing this. I'm just in love with this new craft. I can't get too in love with it because I'll go crazy. And I pulled my yarn out of my needle, but that's okay because it's really easy to thread. I'll go crazy and buy up a bunch of it like I did this yarn, and I cannot do that. But I'm excited about this. I've got probably 5 or 6 more. They're not all Christmas of these to do, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, that's all the yarny stuff. I do have some sewing. Okay, I think last year I talked to you guys about, you know, I had these block of the months. This is probably a year before last. And every month I'd get a kit. And I said, oh, I'm going to keep up with it. Every month I'm going to get the kit done. Blah, blah, blah. You know how that goes. Well, you know how it goes with me. I didn't do it. But I have committed to getting some of these done. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this in just a second. Y'all let me mark my punch needle off or I won't remember that I talked about it. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you why. During this big hiatus I've had from YouTube, I have went through all my stuff. And it's embarrassing of how much craft stuff I've accumulated since 2020. Now, you got to understand, before 2020, I did some loom stuff. I did a little bit of, you know, doing washcloths and stuff like that. But, you know, when the pandemic hit, we were in the process of a move, and I got bored, and that's where the crocheting started. And this is where this exploded. So that's embarrassing. So, of course, I'm on a no-buy with exceptions, and that is if I have to have something to finish a project that's using up more yarn than I would need to finish it, then I'm allowing myself that. Or fabric that's, you know, to get a project done if I'm using up more than I've got. Now, my fabric's kind of under control if you call a double closet halfway full of fabric, but just so y'all know, I've had a lot of this since my kids were little, so that's not too out of control. It's this back here. Okay, I started working on this quilt. This is from 2023, so this, I started getting my subscription in 2023. It's almost the end of 2025, and I got all the blocks done. And I'm going to quickly go through them because I know not all of y'all are quilters. This is block 1. And I'll tell you where I got it and everything in a second. Block 2. Block 3. And then 4. 5. 6. And this is the last one I had done before I started back on it. So I sit down, I think it took me 2 days, and I got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I got all these done. Now, it also has, let me see if I've got somewhere that shows it. It comes from Fat Core Shop, and it's their designer mystery, and you get a little thing every month that tells you exactly what to cut out. It sends you the fabrics, and I've got enough fabric probably to do another quilt. Maybe not in the following exact same colorway, but I'm telling you, I've got probably more fabric left than I used. Oh, I don't have it with me because I'm working on it. The last month, you get the backing if you ordered it, and the finishing fabric to do the strips that go in between the blocks and, you know, all the borders and stuff. And there's a lot of piecing with that. And I've got it probably 75 to 80% done, but I stopped because I was ready to pull my hair out. And then I started on other projects. But I'm going to get back to this. In fact, I'm going to get back to this probably next week. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You know, Christmas is coming. But I got this done. And then, you know, me, Miss Optimist, started thinking I could get a Halloween quilt at least put together before Halloween. I started this like probably the second week of October. I did one block and then I stopped. But yesterday, I thought I'm going to at least get all the applique pieces on this ironed down. And this is what it looks like. And this is another kit, and I got it from Shabby Fabrics. And I got all of them applique down. I'll show them to you right quick. There's the last one. Now, I got to do all the sewing around all the applique. What's the next one? Her kits are amazing, y'all. Everything's laser cut. You don't have to cut anything out. You just, you know, iron it down, and then you have to do all the little applique around it, and then put the quilt together. That one. This was fun. I loved doing this. Y'all, I put this sweatshirt on because it's been freezing, but now I'm getting hot. This one. And let's see, I just got a couple more to show you. That one. It's going to look a lot better once I get the applique done, because you do actually do some hand embroidery on it too to add little, you know, spider webs and stuff like that. Okay. And y'all, if they're crooked, don't tell me, because I fear it's going to be in a quilt. Nobody's going to notice. I didn't even try to make sure I centered everything. Okay, that's all of them, and I've got the fabric there to do that border and the binding and the backing, and that comes as part of it too. I love Shabby Fabrics quilt kits, but needless to say, if y'all saw how many quilt kits I have to finish, I'm not buying any more till I get a bunch of these done. But I enjoy doing that because I felt so accomplished. But I'm going to try to commit to at least getting one of these applique. I'm just going to give myself one a week, because that takes a long time to do, to go around each little look. I'm spilling my stuff. I've got the little, this was part of, it was like an add-on to the quilt. You can get the colors to do the applique, and for the hand embroidery, you can get the DMC floss, and I've got the black in there. But I love this because I do have the pattern. If I ever wanted to do it again, which y'all know I probably won't, it actually comes to where you could actually hand trace and cut them out, the actual patterns of each block. But thank goodness I had them laser cut, and I just, you know, the adhesives on the back and everything, you just iron, you know, iron it down and go. But I'm excited to get this worked on. I started this, I did that first block forever ago. No, that's a lie. I did it in the middle of working on the next thing I'm going to tell you about. I had to have a break, so I whipped this out and thought I'm going to do some of these, and I just did one and, of course, stopped. But, let me get all this stuff in here. Well, anyway, to save time. Okay, now let me look at my list. I'm going to keep up with what I've talked about. Okay, now the rest of this stuff is about my grandchildren, about, you know, my holiday plans, and, you know, what's been going on with me. So if any of you guys don't want to listen to all that jabber, because I think this video is already 28 minutes long, I'll make this quick. Okay, you know, I got the cabinets painted. That went real well. I love this paint. It's called Heirloom Traditions All-in-One Paint. And I saw it all over the Facebook, and I started researching. I thought I'm going to give it a shot, but I love that paint. But I'm moving on from there. We went to Rowan's birthday party. I think it was September the 20th. I didn't make the cupcakes this time. In fact, I don't think I made anything for this party. I don't think I did anything for it. Oh, I did some craft, but I can't remember what it was because that's been more than a day ago. But it went real well. We had a really good time. He had a ball. He is precious. He's 3 years old, y'all. He is 3. I cannot believe it. I love him to death. He calls me his best buddy. Excuse me, y'all. Okay. We went down, spent the night before, left that next afternoon after the party, got home, and then we woke up a couple days later. We both were deadly sick. We had RSV. We got it from one of those kids at the party, because Rowan and Bodie may have had it. They'd all been kind of nasally and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, that took me out for 2 weeks. It took Jeff out for about 3 weeks. He went to the doctor and, you know, found out he had it. And you know, they say in adults, the symptoms can just go on and on. It was worse than COVID for me, y'all. I literally was flat on my back for several days. Thought I was just going to die. So, but that was an experience. It was worth it. But in the moment it wasn't. But anyway. Okay, the next thing was Bodie's birthday. We went to his party November the 8th, this past weekend. We were going to go down the night before, but if you live in Middle Tennessee or East Tennessee, we had some horrific storms. So Jeff and I decided just to get up the next morning and take off and go. Now, I thought the party was at 11 o'clock. I found out the night before it was at 10 a.m. Central Time. 11 Eastern Time is where I live. So we left at 5:30 in the morning. The fog was so horrific that it took us 45 minutes longer. It took us about 3 hours and 50 minutes to get there. 2 horrible wrecks on the way there. There was a transfer truck that had flipped, and a car was involved with that too, and another car. But we made it. Of course, my daughter was full of anxiety because I made all 90% of the decorations and all the cupcakes. I made and I wished I had pictures. If I can find some and sneak them off her social media, I will post them because I'm very proud of them. I made a banner. I did get the garland that went with the banner from Hobby Lobby. It was on that 50% off fall sale. And I put, Happy Birthday, Bodie. I did all this with my Cricut. And then I did these little cards where you put the monthly pictures, the 1 month, 2 months. I did those. I did little gift tags for the little goodie bags they give out. I made some football confetti, the sprinkle around because it was called Bodie's first year down, first down. I made some footballs to hang around. But the thing I'm most proud of is I made Sarah Garrett, Sarah's my daughter, Garrett's her husband, and Rowan and Bodie a shirt. And on the front, and I don't have a picture, I'm going to try to find a still one off of social media, had like the football laces and had mama, and then his said dad. And on the back was their first names and then their age, like Sarah 28, Garrett 30, and then Rowan had the laces and it had brother, and on the back it was Rowan with 03, and then Bodie, his said the laces and it had one. Yeah, it just had the name 1. Gosh, did it? Lord, I made these last week and I can't even remember. I think it did. And on the back it said Bodie 01. And I did it out of heat transfer vinyl and put it on a t-shirt, like a long sleeve t-shirt. Y'all, they turned out so cute. Of course, with me, I didn't mirror, because when you cut out heat transfer vinyl on a Cricut machine, which I don't know I'm sure most of y'all know what that is, but you have to mirror to the design. And because I always get in a hurry, I forgot to do it on Garrett's. Had to cut his out twice. Had to cut Rowan's out twice because I didn't like the spacing of his name. I know I'm anal. I can't help it. But they turned out so cute. And the birthday party went over. I made a football-shaped gingerbread cookies and a football-shaped little cake, too. It was fun. But I spent over a week doing all that stuff, which I enjoy thoroughly. I do. I thoroughly enjoy it. I just need more time, getting Sarah pinned down exactly on what we're going to do and her ideas and what she needed. But I told her next time she's got to give me a month, but I would love to do it because it saves her a lot of money and I get rid of some craft supplies. So, but that was fun. We had a really good time. I come home with a stomach bug, and then Jeff had it yesterday. So every time we're around the kids, we get something. So, but let's see. Oh, Thanksgiving. I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving this year. My daughter's going to be at her in-laws. My son and daughter-in-law were going to go to Memphis for a family reunion. And Jeff and I were going to have some of our family like we did last year here. But we decided we're going to do something for our 35th anniversary, which was back in February. I'm not going to let the exact dates I'm going to be gone because you know how people are. Well, I don't think I have any of you guys on here that would be that way, but we decided we're going to go on a little vacation. We had always said we're going to take a big trip for our 35th anniversary because we were too poor and when we was 25. We still had a daughter in college at her 30th anniversary, and now we're empty nesters, and we got a little bit more money that we could do something nice. But in February, to be honest with you, I was not in a good headspace. My mental health was horrible. You know, you guys, I've talked to you about that. I just wasn't in a place to go anywhere and didn't want to do anything, didn't have the effort, didn't have the what you need to get prepared to go on a vacation. So about 3 weeks ago, we just decided we're just going to, no, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, you know, time flies, you guys. I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And we just sit down, planned a trip, booked it, and we're gone. So I'm really looking forward to that. I told Jeff, I said, I'm not really sad about missing Thanksgiving because I work myself to death cooking. It's a hard day for me. I enjoy visiting with family, but I'm usually so exhausted. So I'm kind of not mad about it. But we're real excited. It's going to be a little weird, a little different, but I talked to my daughter about next year, and because my son and daughter, they alternate Christmas and Thanksgiving coming. But Sarah always wants to be home on Christmas for her children, and I understand completely. But last year we were left here with nobody. We were all by ourselves. So I told her that mandatory from now on, Thanksgiving's here, period. You know, that's just the way it's going to be because they never come on Christmas. Every year, mandatory, she's here for Thanksgiving. She totally agreed. It wasn't like I was mean about it. I just need some continuity with holidays. I grew up with my family, you know, anywhere from 20 to 50 people getting together every Thanksgiving holiday and mostly Easters. And I want that with my family. So, and I told her, I said, I'm getting old enough that I can make a few little demands and hopefully y'all be respectful and do it. So next year we're going to have Thanksgiving here, and I'm sure I'll invite my cousin and his family, and you know, I'm just excited. But this year's going to be a little different, but I think it'll be fun, and it'll give me a little chance to relax, y'all. I am just too busy. But I think that's all I've got to talk about. I think that's it. I'm going to go and I've cleaned out. This is what I call the yarn room. And then I got that craft room. It's in the living room part of my house. I have rearranged them both twice since I've been gone. My ADHD is out of control. I'm taking my medicine, but I get so hyper-focused on things that I can't do anything else. And, you know, I get up every Monday, oh, I'm going to make a video. And then I'll get hooked on another project, and I don't sit down and take the time to get dressed and, you know, look halfway decent. Because if y'all saw me in my real life, you wouldn't know who I was. So, but anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, and I hope that everybody has great plans coming up for the holidays. I'm going to say I truly hope to be back next week, but you guys know how I am. I really, really want to get back in the groove. I've just got to get my head straight, you know. I just got to get, I'm still dealing with Mama's estate. I'm going to be taking over the executor soon. My uncle has tapped out. I know y'all are thinking, oh my gosh, she must have had a truly huge estate. It's just got some property that we're dealing with, and he's just getting to the point he just don't want to deal with it anymore. So we're still dealing with that through the lawyer and all that stuff. So, but, and that's some stuff I've been having to deal with. But I'm rambling as always. I never know how to end a video. I do have a prayer request too. I've got a family member. I'm not going to mention any names or relation, but she's very close, and she's dealing with some major mental health issues. She's safe. It's nothing like that. She's just trying to get leveled. And I wish I could say her name, but I'm not going to disrespect her privacy or anything. But just know that she's a young lady, early 20s, but I need prayers for her to be healed, you know, to find what she needs to get stable. And my daughter and son-in-law, they're still going through their IVF situation. They've not had really good results lately. They had one retrieval. The last retrieval, they only got one viable egg, and it disintegrated, so it didn't survive. But they've got plans to do 2 more treatments, and thank goodness she's got an insurance that's actually going to pay for those 2 retrievals, egg retrievals, because they've had to pay all this out of pocket. And if any of you guys have any idea what this cost, it is heartbreaking to see what they're going through for a baby. And I just hope that they get blessed with one. They are going to start fostering after the first of the year. They're going to do respite fostering, which they know they'll only have the child for a limited amount of time, because my son's terrified he's going to fall in love and have hopes of adoption, you know, because some fosters do end up being that way. And he's trying to take care of his heart and do baby steps. But I pray that all goes well. I know they're in the process of getting that approved. But anyway, I thank you guys so much. And y'all, it blows my mind that I still have most of my subscribers. I've lost very few over the past September, October, 2.5 months I've been gone. So I appreciate y'all for sticking in with me. And I'll have my email, my Instagram, which I've not been good at posting at, and I used to have my Facebook up there, but y'all fell off of it too. I start too many things. I get too many ideas and do too many things. But send me email if you have any questions about anything, or you know, just want to be nosy and ask me anything. I don't care. I'm sometimes bad about checking it, but I do the best I can. You guys, I'm getting a phone call, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you. Bye-bye.